Vừa qua, cộng đồng người Trung Hoa tại San Diego đã tổ chức buổi gặp gỡ với John Chiang là California State Treasurer, tức là thủ quỹ của tiểu bang California, để ủng hộ và chúc mừng cho ông John Chiang ra ứng cử cho chức vụ thống đốc của tiểu bang California. VNTV cũng đã có mặt để chúc mừng cho cộng đồng người Trung Hoa. Mời quý vị theo dõi phần phóng sự sau đây.
This event is organized by a group of people who advocate civil engagements. We call ourselves San Diego Chinese Americans for John Chiang for Governor 2018. We are volunteers with different background who came together with a goal, just one goal only. This is to help John become our next governor.
T-shirt. We only have 4 left.
100.
How much?
100.
100 Horne, boys. 100. More than twice. 100. Anybody have 150?
Part of the school funding is California is 41st in per pupil spending when you factor in cost of living. Is school reform and funding for school, is Prop 13 part of that conversation, reform part of that conversation?
Yeah, right, when you use Prop 13, obviously it impacts various communities. We know that those who have greater wherewithal are basic aid school districts, that those who don't. But part of that conversation is regardless of whether there's Prop 13 reform or not, we're going to make sure that we dedicate sufficient monies. Huge priorities for me is early childhood education, and then, as I pointed out during the questions, making sure that higher education closes its gap that unfortunately was created over the last 4 decades.
Since San Diego is a coastal town, and there's a lot of movement about slow growth and all that stuff, how do you balance that while also get housing buildings for housing development fast track so that we have more housing?
Well, you saw that effort. You're seeing people push forward on Prop 35. SB 35 when you had certain jurisdictions that did not move sufficiently. There are provisions under the law that if certain communities have fallen behind, you can have those types of developments. I'm going to push to part of the problem with some of the communities also is that over the last nearly decade, federal, state, and local government contributions have not been forthcoming because they experienced some financial challenges. We're going to restore that balance to make sure that local governments have redevelopment agencies so they can make their contributions. The state has more consistent fundings, whether it's access to tax credits from the general fund or a replenishment, hopefully, that the voters will pass with the bond measure, housing bond measure this year. Federal government, we're not as certain because we know that this administration and their earlier Congress was not as supportive.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you.
My name is Tracy Wu, Tracywu. Oh, I'm one of the hosts to have a fundraising event for John Chiang for Governor 2018. California is a wonderful state, first of all, and we need someone excellent, great, somebody trustworthy to be our governor. John Chiang is such a person to be very, very trustworthy and has years of public service track record. And he came from the same cultural background as us, especially in this white supremacy kind of a background. I think it will be really, really, really comforting to see an Asian face to be our next governor.
Right now, like, is it important to have an Asian American governor? Since the only Asian American governor we've ever had was in the state of Hawaii, and that was 1970.
Absolutely. I think more and more Asian immigrants coming to the state, they contribute so much in this great state. And they have already shown their ability and their achievement in the state. And I think it's about the time to have our next governor to be an Asian American.
Anything else you want to add?
I think after you talk to John Chiang and also hear what he has to say, I think everybody will draw the same conclusion as I do. Actually, I had a very short meeting with him in February, and after that meeting, I came to a very straightforward conclusion that John Chiang will be our next governor, and he will be the one that will stand by him.
Now, what is it about John Chiang policy that makes you want to vote for him? Tell me some of his policies.
His policy is, I would say, he, based on his track record, he can have a very, very doable, realizable dream that he can finance because coming from a finance background. So I have confidence in him. Whenever he has a dream, he will be able to realize it with his solid financial background.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Tom Hums, born and raised in San Diego, and I used to be on the San Diego City Council, Vice Mayor of San Diego, and also serve in the State Assembly. I've known John for a number of years, and I've seen him from the time when he was on a Board of Equalization and then became controller, then now the treasurer, and the next step, for the benefit of the general public of all California, he ought to be governor. And so that's why I am supporting him. I am a Republican. I ran as a Republican. And but when it comes to a point of how important it is that we get the right people in the right place, it doesn't make any difference whether Democrats or Republicans. So I am supporting John Chiang.
Thank you very much. What is it about John that made you want to support him?
I've met him in person twice. After speaking with him, I truly believe that he has the vision of how to lead California into a better future. He tends not to talk a lot about the fancy words or make some promises that he doesn't think that he will make into reality. He likes to show you facts. He likes to get into very details about how he's going to make action or plan to make it work. That's the thing that I think we really need at this point for California.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I just really want San Diegans to take the time to get to know John better, because he is truly a very good candidate for the governor, and I truly believe that he should become our first ever Asian governor in California's history.
My name is Sonny Ricardo. We're here to have a fundraiser for John Chiang for the governor, and we are the group of Chinese from the local Chinese Americans from the local community to support John Chiang. I think it's very important. We share the heritage of the Asian culture, of the history, especially John. He's himself from an immigration family, so he understands the struggles. He understands the ridicules that almost every first generation immigrants have encountered, has experienced in the past. So have that understanding. I think he want to promote our role in the state of California, and he's going to improve our involvement in the political process as well. So I think that's very important for us to elect a Asian official, governmental official, especially at this level. I think it's the most important thing is really to encourage our Asian Americans to get involved in the political process, especially our first generation immigrants. I think that's I heard that the involvement actually is very low. The voters registration and actually the registered voters voting rate is only like 15-something% compared to other communities. We have very low voting rate, and in this country, I think the most important political power is to vote. So I think get involved behind John Chiang is not only help us to elect the first Asian governor, it's also help the Asian community to understand the political process and get more involved. That's our voice, that's our power. We cannot ignore that. If you want to improve our status in this country, be more mingled into the mainstream, we have to get more involved.
Oh, my name is Sally Wong Avery. I have been in San Diego since 1969, so they consider me like a old-timer, local. And I've done Chinese Social Service Center since serving the Chinese since 1974. I think that's wonderful. More Asians should be involved with politics so that we get good representation and we can voice our opinion and get more of the Asians to be involved with voting, with voicings, and preserve their rights.
Now, what is it about John Chiang that makes you want to support him?
Oh, I've known John a long time. Ever since he came on as the controller, my husband and I have supported him because we've spoken with him. He's very direct. He has high integrity. He's accountable, transparent, and very honest. He is really doing it for the people, not for himself, but really think of the people first.
And do you think having someone who is, relatively young as John running for governor, you think that will engage more of the young Asian American?
John is, he was born in 1962, so he's not,
relatively young.
Relatively young, but I think he has enough experience to really do a good job.
And do you think because having someone like John running for this, like Gavin Newsom, John, they're both, young in terms of politics age, you think that will engage more younger voters, which is...
Oh, yes, I think so. Because his ideas are very fresh, and he's really for the people. And he's really tackled, what is facing us and not following, the routine agenda. He has his own agenda, and which is to better all our lives.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.